there, everybody. Today I would like for you to get a scratch piece of paper and write the things that I write in blue. Today's lesson is about meter. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to define meter. So go ahead and write this term down. In math, meter tells us how long something is. In music, the word meter tells us the way the rhythms are organized. So if you can also write down the way the rhythms are organized as the definition for meter, that would be great. You might want to pause the video while you do that. Okay, so when we're looking at music, sometimes we will see a meter signature. Sometimes people use the word time signature. Both are completely accurate. Now, a meter signature or time signature is a musical symbol used to communicate the meter of a piece. So when you see a meter signature, it might look like this. Notice that the meter signature looks different than a fraction. There's no line in between. So a meter signature has two numbers stacked on top of each other. Now let's talk about the top number. The top number of a meter signature tells us how many beats are in each group. The bottom number tells us which of the notes gets the beat. Now, let's practice. I'm going to write some common meter signatures. There's one. And then you're going to tell me how they work. There's one. Let's see, here's another one. And just for fun, let's do a couple that are completely different. Let's see, here's one. All of these meter signatures are ones that people see very frequently in music. The most common is definitely the first one. And it's so common, in fact, that they use another symbol that looks like this, that just means common time. Because the vast majority of music is actually in 4/4 time. So what we're going to do is have a look at the top number. The top number tells us how many beats are going to be in each measure. So there's 4, so let's draw 4 beats. All right, so what's the top number tell us in this one? You're right, it's going to be 3 beats. What about in this one? How many beats do we need here? You're right, we need 2. What about in this one? The top number tells us we need 6 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then in this one, right here, the top number tells us we need 2 beats. All right, now, what does the bottom number tell us? For these first 3, this 4 is equal to a quarter note. So when musicians see that bottom number, if it's a 4, they think a quarter note in their head. This 8 is equal to an eighth note, and this 2 is equal to a half note. So go ahead and write the number of quarter notes you're going to need in 4/4 time. Now write them for 3/4 time. How many quarter notes do we need in 2/4 time? You're right, we only need 2. Now, sorry, I didn't mean to make that smaller. How many eighth notes do we need in 6/8 time? We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What about half notes for 2/2 time? We need a half note here and a half note here. Now, we are going to continue to talk about meter, but I want to draw a box around these These are for older grades. You might see them, and I want you to know that they're a meter signature, but we're not going to use them for your reading and writing. Okay, so whenever we're reading and writing rhythms, we're not going to expect you to do ones in those 2 meters right now. We're going to focus on these meters because these are the common ones, and these are also in what we call simple meter. All right, so let's do a little bit more practice. I am going to start out by setting up a measure of 4/4 time. Now, we're going to write a rhythm that fits in 4/4 time. So I could write a boring one like this, and I could count it like this. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is correct. But as it turns out, there's all sorts of other rhythms we could use. So we could use eighth notes, and that still works. Let's see. Let's count it now. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. What if we wrote another rhythm? Let's count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. All of these notes, when they're added together, what do they equal? They equal 4. This equals 4. So does this, because you have 4 beats. So let's try another one. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So let's see, we have room for a quarter note here, a quarter note here, and a quarter note here. What if I put an eighth note here and an eighth note here? I could put a quarter note there, right? Sure, because look what happens. 1, 1, 2, 3 equals 3. I could do the same thing here. 1 and 2 and 3. If I add those together, it equals 3. Now I could also, let's see, what if I did a half note there? So that's 1, 2. Could I do this? Would that work? Why not? Oh, because that equals 4. But I don't have enough room for that, so I can't do that. So that won't work. Let's see. But what if I do this? Half note plus a quarter note equals 3, because this beat gets 2 beats and that beat gets 1. So those two together, does that equal 3? Yes, it does. Now, we're going to stop there because Miss Bailey is going to show you how to write some rhythms today. But it is a lot like addition because you only have so many beats, and your meter signature tells you how many beats and which note gets the beat. All right, folks, have fun today. Bye-bye.